Okay, this is an exciting episode because we're doing something a little different here. Um, we are going to be looking at if I was an investor and I'm thinking of investing in painting, and let's say these are all Todd's paintings, and we're going to have a look at some of them and determine why I would want to invest in one over another. Now, you artists have to think about this, and you investors have to think about this if you have more than one that you're thinking about investing in, more than one artist or more than one of their paintings, and you're going, well, should I pick this one or this one? Okay, well, what is making it more strong and memorable? So this is where I got the images from. You can see artcountrycanada.com. It says here Todd White, that's the artist. We represent the entire collection of Todd White. Okay, so there it is, and you can see that there's a whole bunch of his images. So don't think that we're dealing with all of his work. Okay. So that's where I found these images. If you're just going to do a Google search, that is how you spell his name. Okay. And this is the image. I'm picking things with 5 areas of interest. So as an investor, I'm trying to pick things that are, somewhat similar so that you understand more easily what I'm saying and why I'm saying it. Okay, so this one is so compelling, which is this one. I really feel that's a very good image and very compelling. Look at all the variety of color. Look at how he's got the full range of light to dark, which is white to black. When I talk about range of light to dark, in school they call it value. I divide it into 5. I go light, medium, which is right in the middle of light to dark, and dark, and whoops, I forgot medium dark in there. Okay, so if you have a lot of color, it doesn't matter whether it's grayscale or color, there's still that range, and of course you could fine tune that more, but I use that just for easy reference. Okay, so here we go. Isn't this a compelling image? You've got color, you've got detail, you've got all this action stuff going on here. You've got warm and cool colors and intense colors. You've got a lot of things like the heads are not all perfectly even in a straight row, which makes it more exciting because it's more random. Things like this, okay? So you got a lot happening here that is really going for this image. And then when you look at these, now some of these are quite likely older images of his too. So I'm saying you can't, go by that. But anyway, okay, so here we are. We're looking at this image. Why is this one not competing as well with this one? Why do I feel it's a weaker image? Well, you can see. Okay, it's more light. The background is more light instead of being medium. See, the medium highlights both the darkest dark and the lightest light, whereas when you're going lighter, now the light kind of blends more, and you're really just looking at the black. So the black or darkest part is drawing your attention more because there's no real strong vivid color that this one has. Look at all the intense reds and the light blues and this really intense orangey color here. Okay, well, you see you don't have any of that here. You don't have a lot of the action and detail that you have in this one. So yeah, it's, even though there's 5 areas of interest, all art is not equal. Well, we already kind of know that, but okay, so I would obviously buy this painting over that one. Okay, so now we look at this next one. And how does this one compete with this one? Let's just move this one down here. Let's have a look at this one. We can see that that's a lot more exciting than this one is. And you can see that part of the reason is because of the white. You can see the more, again, medium background. It's not too light, not too dark. So that highlights both the light and the dark areas, and you can see that the white is good. But notice how having the white a little more distributed is making it more interesting and moving your eye around more. Okay, so why would I pick the one on the right over those, both of those? That's why. Okay. So let's go to the next one. Okay, so we're looking at this one. Does this one compete? Would you buy this one over this one? Well, I wouldn't. And again, the reason is because look at how we've got blue and we've got all these little, the red and orangey red and stuff is much more intense. And again, he's using color and he's got detail and he's got action, and you see what I mean? So how can we improve this one a little bit if we were trying to improve that one? Well, there you go. Have a look. Does that improve it? I just made some. This is the original one here on the left. See this one on the left? That's the original. That's his. Okay, so it doesn't have a strong main area of interest. Well, all kinds of ingredients is what can make a strong area of interest. And you can see this one doesn't have it. This one does. Look at why. Because we've got intense red. We've also got the darkest and the lightest all on one. It's also on the third line. This woman is on the third line. So that is creating a much more dramatic or stronger visual effect than this one is, and it still cannot compete with that one, but it does give you part of the idea as to why, because again, there is no white. You know, it doesn't have all the action and everything that this one does. Okay, so let's go to the next one. And this one, same thing. Okay. See how it gets improved. This bottom image here is his original, the artist's original image. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that image. All I'm saying is that any image can be improved. There is no such thing as perfection. So if we want to be able to compete with other artists, or if we want our work to be distinctive, then how do we do that? Well, that's what we're discussing here, you see. So how do what painting do you want? The distinctive one or the blasé one, right? All right. So you can see that by adding the full range of light to dark, see the difference that it's making there, see? And this one has a lot of busy space, and it has a lot of non-busy space, and the dark is on the non-busy space. It's the biggest mass. The white, now the black and white, has a lot of impact. The red is drawing a certain amount of attention over here, plus with the white. And the same here. See, I put black on his collar to move your eye around more, so you want to look at the dark, because if you notice how, medium to light the background is, now you want to look at the dark. So whatever's the smallest portion. If the smallest portion's light, then that's what you want to look at. If the smallest portion's dark, then that's what you want to look at. Okay. So now you know why I would still pick this one on the right. Okay. This is the one. Okay. So let's go to the next one. Now, a lot of you are going to say, oh, I love that, because look at all the busyness, look at all the detail. And yes, it does have more detail than this one does on the right. So why does Roz still like that one on the right? Well, I'll tell you why, because you need a strong main area of interest. The one on the right here has a strong main area of interest because this guy here in the middle, this big guy, his head is higher than the rest, more noticeable. The orange is right beside it, so you tend to be drawn there. And with the action, those ingredients together make a very powerful statement. Plus you've got the variety of color, cool and warm, of blue. See the really, really, really cold blue? This one doesn't have that really cold blue. So they're really, really hot. Okay. So we've got a strong range there. Now let's look here. And could we have made this one stronger? Could he have? Let's have a look. All right, this here one on the right side is the original image. And this is the one I have played with. Okay, so let's have a look. So his original image here on the right, you can see that. Where do you want to look? Where's the main area of interest? What are you visually wanting to look at? Okay, so now do we clarify this better in the left image? Because I neutralized the non-busy dark space, because there's not a lot of non-busy space in this one. Even the background with all the brush strokes and everything in it, it's all busy. Now we've got so much busy space that we want to pay attention more to the non-busy space. Okay, so detail is good, but if the whole thing is detailed, then it becomes neutralized as an ingredient. It becomes not as exciting anymore, you see? So let's look at this one. Why is it have stronger visual impact than this one? Well, this is why. Because now I've got the dark space moved in more to the third line placement, which makes it a stronger image. So according to the rule of thirds, this is on the third line. So if you divide it this way in 3, and if you divide it this way in 3, you can see that this is on the third line, making that a very strong area of interest. Add that to the fact that it's black and non-busy space. Now you've got a very strong portion of the image here. Also, you've got this white to draw attention as well, and these little bits of black here. Now that I've darkened down, see how I've darkened the dress down here? I've neutralized this area here, because in the original on the right here, the darker dress is the non-busy space, and it's out too close to the edge, and down too close to the bottom is attracting a lot of attention, and maybe that's not the strongest placement for your dark. You see it's much stronger here. Okay, so now we've got a stronger main area of interest being her and him. I also took the white, which there's very little of, so it does tend to draw a lot of attention, and I lightened the sleeve here on this card hand down in the bottom here. And that will also draw a small amount of more attention to that zone. So the dark will move your eye around. You'll tend to want to look here at the non-busy space, the face, and this card hand that's coming up here, down in here. Okay, so there you go. We're controlling where you look, and we're making it visually stronger. Now, does this compete with this? This one on the right is still stronger. Why? Because the details, although they're very exciting and everything, and the clarity of the image and such is very exciting, and it is a very exciting image. Even the original, if you like, is a very exciting image. But this is still a stronger image because of the proportions of light and dark and the proportions of detail. There's still lots of detail in this one without overwhelming you with detail, because as soon as you have too much of it, then you don't appreciate it as much. Okay, so let's look at this one. And this is the last or final image that we're looking at here, and you can see that this one does not compete with this one as strongly either. And why is that? I would still buy this painting on the right over this one even though it has the really, really cool blues, it has the dark zones to move your eye around. It's got the air. See how you get the dark spots to keep your eye looking around. You get the color, intense color to keep your eye wanting to move around. Does it have a strong main area of interest? There again lies the problem with this one. You have to have a dominant area of interest, the point of why you're looking at it, you see. And this one has a stronger main area of interest right in here, and this one doesn't. They haven't the intense color, and they don't have enough mass. So if you look at here also, the non-busy space is drawing attention to, because when it's also busy, then you tend to want to look at the non-busy space. So it's taking away some of the impact of where you want to look, because you've got the strong ingredient down in here. You see, you want to make your strong ingredients point to where your main area of interest is. Okay, so these are some of the 40 ingredients in my book, and this is how I use it, my book, to determine what is making an image stronger and more desirable, stronger and more memorable. And in this case, this one is very strong and memorable, and these are some of the reasons why. We didn't analyze all 40 ingredients or anything, but this gives you an idea. And my book, of course, is this. This is my book, The Art Advantage. You can find it on Amazon.ca or Amazon.com books. You can also buy a copy for a reasonable fee from my page. And this is me, Roslynn Eve, and I am the author. And this is my email. And my book, my page, is also Practical Art Analysis, but it is also to be found under the name of my book, which again is The Art Advantage. So if you are searching for The Art Advantage on Facebook, because that's where you find me, is on Facebook, then you can buy a copy through my page there, The Art Advantage page. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. I know this one was a little different because, again, I'm now speaking of this from the point of an investor. If I was investing in picking out which painting of his that I wanted to purchase and why I would do that. So I thought you might find that very interesting. Okay, so if you're an artist, think about it. Use the ingredients to your best advantage. Okay, thank you. Bye for now.